Preparing to live stream the meeting.
Ah!
Oh, we're live, so I can see myself. Preparing to live stream the meeting.
Hey everybody. Welcome. Live from Central Florida.
Oh, we're live, so I can see myself. Preparing to live. I gotta turn myself off on here. Let's see.
Where are my investors at? Where are you at,
That
investor?
is not how you start a live. Yeah, that's not how you started off. Where's the money? Money. No.
Money, 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 money.
Oh my. Hello, everybody. My name is Matt McKinney. I am let me make sure we have it recording on here as well. So we have a recording of this. Let me see. It's our first episode. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Matt, I love this. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
So much to talk about in real estate, Matt. It's very exciting. I mean, you go down the street, you go down the road in Central Florida, and you're seeing so much different buildings. You know, there's so many different people that are moving to Central Florida. I mean, a lot of groups, a lot of Canadians are moving down here. Everyone wants to get away from the snow.
Yeah. Everybody and their mama wants to live in Florida. I mean, look at the sky, the sunsets at night. I mean, it's literally cotton candy clouds. Like it's
Like,
crazy.
why wouldn't you want to live in Florida? It's the best state. We have no state tax, you know, and they're gonna get rid of property taxes.
I'm not see. Okay, so we haven't even started. Let's wait a second until we can start the show up. But I'm trying to find where to record at. We have it live on YouTube. I'm trying to find how to record it on here. Hmm.
I want to see it live.
We're on YouTube right now, so we'll see if we get some people in on there. But we're about to get started. So yeah, this is the first episode of Property Pulsecast. It is a real estate podcast going around different events, agents' experiences, the market, going over current events that are happening in real estate, everything real estate. This is the show, and I am your host, Matt McKinney. I am the CEO and broker of McKinney Realty Co., a Florida-based real estate brokerage. Today I have Christy Node here. She is a newer agent. She started back in February, but she has been amazing. Yeah, like she's showing you right now, she has won our Realtor of the Month award, at least one so far. So she's going to be many more in the future. Have many more in the future.
This month too.
No, it wasn't that Helena won this month.
Oh, well, I'm gonna win next month, okay?
You, you're like, oh, you're trying to take credit for Helena's win. Oh my goodness. Talk
Sorry,
about ambition.
Helena. Yes, I am a newer agent, but let me tell you, I've been in the corporate game for a while, and I also
Okay,
have a political background. So,
okay, pause. We have to restart. I just found the record button.
how dare you?
Okay, so everybody, welcome to the Pulsecast. My name is Matt McKinney. I am the broker and CEO of McKinney Realty Co. And this is our first episode. This is a podcast covering everything real estate, from real estate stories, guest speakers that will speak about their experiences, to the market updates, to current events. We're going to go everything real estate. But today I have Christy Note here. She is a newer agent based in Central Florida. She started back in February and she is doing amazing. So to start off, I mean, the first thing we got to talk about
Hello,
is your
hello.
yeah, she even won the Realtor of the Month for our company back in July or no, June. Back in June. So she's doing amazing. She just started. She's closed multiple deals.
I
And
started
now
working
she has started working on some of the big boy projects, the ones that most people never even fathom. She is confidently reaching out to them and setting up appointments and having a lot of success. So our first segment for today is we're just gonna have her as a guest speaker. We're gonna talk to her, ask her a little bit about her experience getting into real estate, what that's looked like for her, what she's done to have that success she's had so far, and go from there. So Christy, tell me. Why did you join real estate to start off with?
I love real estate. First of all, I love Florida. I've lived here for 32 years. I'm originally from New York. Hello, all the New Yorkers. You want to get away from the snow? That's exactly what we did. Growing up, you know, um, we would go to Florida every year and we would take that road trip from New York to Florida. And it took us like, what, 14 hours
Ooh.
every summer, you know? And so after a while, my dad got an opportunity and I was tired of my dad moving us around. I begged him, hey, buy a house. And I think that's when I first fell in love with real estate because my dad would drive us to all the new builds. And that's when Central Florida was all cow fields and it looked way different than what it looks now. So much developing, but
Yeah, there's a lot of growth. Especially, I mean, have you seen the Lake Nona? Lake Nona alone, if you look at a time lapse over the last 30 years, it's like an ant colony taking over. It's crazy.
yeah. So I've lived here. I grew up here. I went to high school at Poinciana High School. I went to the University of Miami. So I've lived in Florida for a long time and I absolutely love it. I love the
Okay,
beaches and I love real estate and I am really enjoying
so
learning
you went to
about like
college. You went to university. What'd you go to college for?
yeah, it was pre-law history and political science. So I was studying to be a lawyer,
Hmm.
but I fell into marketing and also it was political science. So I fell into politics.
Hmm.
And you know a little bit about that, Matt, because we
Yeah. So
managed.
so why did you make such a sudden change from going on to the lawyer to real estate? I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the sudden change with that?
I think for me, it's, there's been a lot going on in politics and with all, what's going on in media. And I just really wanted to change that. I'm a mom now, I have two kids. So this fit with what I'm doing. Plus, I love real estate. I love Florida. I'm a huge like, I love everything about real estate. And plus, I grew up with a lot of the developers and builders. And so I've always been around it and I've always seen it. I'm seeing the change and I'm like, hey, I want to get into this too. I have a corporate
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, you've been in it since February.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was it? Was that 5 months ago, 6 months ago? No, no, no. Yeah, 5 months ago, February, 5 months ago. And you've already sold how many properties? Two, three?
Successfully closed two, almost three, but I had the lady back out. But we're still working on her with my land deal, dropping the price.
Oh, and
There's
then how many lists? I guess how many listings too? Yeah, because you've had closings, but you also have how many listings
I
too?
have two lands. I have the land in St. Cloud for 75. That one's great because there's no impact fees. It has septic and well. And then so if anybody's watching, wants some land, call me up. Call me the landlady. Then I also have the frost proof land that's 3.45 acres in frost proof, and that's in a deeded community, which is a beautiful deeded community in Blue Jordan Forest. Absolutely beautiful. And that's for somebody that wants to build like a custom home or
Okay, awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
so
also have the condo.
okay. Awesome. So yeah, it sounds like you're having a lot of success. I know you've been working on some bigger deals. The whole company has. We've had a couple of contracts come in with the big boys. and we've been looking for, big plots of land. We've been looking to get a big complex sold for commercial. So a couple of different projects we've been working on. And I know you were spearheading a lot of that. So tell me, with your being new and taking on such big projects, what gives you the confidence to go towards those big projects? I mean, these are multi-million dollar deals. You're talking about $200,000 paychecks, each of them. And there's multiple going on that you're spearheading. You're reaching out to people, you're setting up meetings, having coffee dates. So
Yeah.
you've had immense success, and you started with the small stuff. You started with the regular, the condos, the land. You jumped into the field and went off like a firework.
Yeah.
But
I think you have to go in and say you're either going to go all in and do it because it's the same amount of work. You got to think about it. It's the same amount of work. Those bigger deals, it takes longer. It takes about 12 to 18 months to close. So if I can do a few of those a year, that's great. It'll set me up for success and set my family up. Like I said, I'm a mom. I have two
yeah.
kids. That's why I'm so, driven. Plus,
But
with my
what gets you the
background.
confidence to go after these when you're new? Because most people they never go after those. I know we have a very good training program for the commercial side, but what actually besides that, what gives you the confidence? Because even most of the agents that go through our different programs and our trainings, they still don't have that drive for more. So what actually gives you that confidence to go reach out to these people to do the work that it takes to get these big deals sold? Because respectfully, even some of the agents that have these big listings, they don't do it. That's why they expire all the time.
What gives me the confidence? Um, Well, I will say, I think having a background in corporate does help because I was a Southeast Territory relationship manager for Chrysler. So
Mm,
I had 6 states in my territory and I opened up we had 11 schools. I had to, do presentations in front of stakeholders. So I had stakeholder meetings and stuff like that. So I think having that background does help because you have to have confidence talking to um, a lot of the automotive people because it's kind of similar. In automotive, there's a lot of guys. It's a guys game, in that industry. So you have to go in with confidence as a female. So I think having that background and having a degree, being able to communicate, as a lot of people know, I
yeah.
used to live stream as well. So I think being able to communicate and just saying, hey, if Michael Jordan was scared and when he plays, I'm going to be scared too. There's going to be times when I don't want to pick
Yeah.
up the phone. I get nervous too.
Well,
Everybody
yeah.
has
I mean,
those.
that's the reality is the fear doesn't go away. That's the reality. The anxiety, everything about it. No, if you're making 100 calls, 1,000 calls, a million calls, that doesn't get away. The stress of our job doesn't go away. We just get stronger. We
Like, I'm
understand
not
it.
always confident. Sometimes I get nervous to make the call, but guess what? It's just doing the action because what's the worst someone can say is no. It's a numbers game. If somebody is going to say no, guess what? The next person may say yes. So you call all of them, you go after it. And
Yeah.
there may be days when you have bad days, but if you put in the work every single day, you're going to see results. And I
You've
grew
seen it.
up
Yeah.
I
You've
grew
seen it
up
happen.
watching like Michael Jordan play basketball. So I love basketball. I love referencing sports. I was in sports a lot growing up. So for me, I remember when I was a kid and I was scared to, you know, like I told you this story before that in a track meet, they had me doing hurdles. I'm only 5'2.5", you guys. I'm really short. And they had me doing hurdles, okay, in a freaking track meet. So you could imagine how scared I was to do that. And I still did it. So going over those hurdles being calling people and people telling me to F off or this. I listen here. I had someone tell me to F off, and then she goes, well, bring me a buyer, bring me a cash offer. So
Yeah.
you could turn those nerves and you could talk to these people that will.
Well, what people have to realize is people can take a screw you if you're giving them $1 million, you know? Like if you're giving them a crap ton of money, sometimes the goals just align, you know? Sometimes with the bigger deals, people are a little bit more rude because
Yeah.
you have something I want, you have something I want, or I have something you want, you have something I want, you know, both sides. And a lot of times it's not emotional. It's, hey, let's get to it. And you've seen that. These people are like, bring me somebody. I don't want to keep talking. You know, get me
Yeah.
somebody and we'll talk. And that's how it is. It's very cutthroat. And you have to be able to
Real
stand
estate
up and
is
say and
hard.
understand it's business. It's not, oh, they don't like me. It doesn't matter if they like you. It matters if you get the deal done or don't get it done. You know, these are big, big opportunities. And at the end of the day, you know, I don't care if they tell me to screw off. I'm the worst person ever. I'm trying to drag them through the door. I don't care what they say, as long as I get the deal closed for my client at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
know?
And I've had people say, like, how long have you been in real estate? Like, listen, I'm a homeowner. I've been in real estate since I've owned my house, 2017. Okay. Haven't been a license, but I've done, looking for, like, when I worked for the Swiss cosmetic company, we were looking for properties. So that was in a way real estate related too. So I have done real estate. When I was working for Chrysler, we were looking for schools to open up. So
Yeah.
that is real estate. Okay. So you may not think about it as, oh, man, I was in real estate. I was doing this and that relates to that. But listen, a lot of your experiences from the past, it may add up. And for me, it just aligns perfectly because I grew up
Connecting
with
the
a lot of
dots.
the builders. I was friends with the builder that built Fisher Island at University of Miami. I wish I got into real estate when he told me, Christy, don't get into law, be a realtor. I should have listened to him then.
Okay, so change in the voice because so far you've talked about all the great things that happen, but a lot of people they don't understand how much
The
we go through.
struggle, the
Yeah,
struggles.
how much we go through for our clients. They don't understand what it really takes to be a realtor. They think it's easy, that the check just comes and you close a deal.
Yeah.
They don't really understand the reality that you might submit 5 deals and three get taken, two don't. You know, and you might keep looking for months on months. They might back out. They may say at last moment, "Hey, I want to go rent." So tell me, I know you have them. What are the worst stories you have so far in real estate? Like I know you've had someone try to commit bank fraud at one point. I know you had
Yeah.
a
So when I
lot of crazy
first,
stories so far.
yeah, yeah, real estate is not for the weak, you guys. I will tell you, you have to really develop tough skin. You have to really be tough to be in this industry. I will tell you that because um, there's a lot that goes into it. And it's like a damn roller coaster for real. When I first joined, I had people tell me to join their like Zoom link, and then they were trying to steal all of my information. So that's the first scam. And I was
So you
so
don't take Zoom calls, or how
so
what
you
happened with
don't
that?
let them do the Zoom call. You do the Zoom call. And so I was really excited because I'm like, oh man, this is going to be my first buyer. And I got them myself and it was on social media. And then they're like, well, we're setting up the Zoom link. And that's how they steal your information. You click
Yeah.
the link. And if you're a newer agent, you don't know about it. Or if you're not
And
familiar with technology, they steal your information. And
yeah,
so just
so
don't do that.
that's really important actually to mention, guys. If you're newer agents or you're out there and you are an agent, always set up your own meetings. That is one of the scams going around. What they'll do is they'll send you a Google Meet link, and they'll insist that they create it. I actually have, it's funny you mentioned it because I've had one 2 weeks ago that did that to me. I was like, no, we're going to my meeting.
Yeah,
This is my area, my place. You come into my office. I'm not going to your office. Which,
exactly.
but no, it's so they'll try to send the link, they'll try to set it up. They won't even acknowledge you saying, "Hey, I'm busy at this time." Like it's I don't know if it's a robot or what's going on with it, but it's just, it doesn't make sense. And it'll seem like a couple, they'll say, "Oh, me and my husband are relocating. We need it. Oh, we can't get into a call." And I said, "Oh, let's get into a call. What's your phone number?" And they say, "Oh, we have an older phone." I was like, "Oh yeah, your phone don't make phone calls? Okay, that's not a phone. You got a pager, ma'am. You don't know what you got."
And
But
then
it's a
sometimes you
common
also,
scam, and you need to make sure to actually watch out for this. So if someone does, in the real estate professionals out there, keep in mind that's a common scam going around right now. Um, Always set up your own meetings. So back to what you were saying, Christy. So
also, I will say that, a lot of times people will try to get you to do all the research. Hey, like you're an open book for MLS. And that's what one of my clients was trying to do. Almost like, hey, Christy, send me five, like signed a buy agreement, right? But this guy scammed me in a weird way where, and I should have asked him for the proof of funds first. I did ask him at one point, but he had like this nonprofit and he was trying to say, "Oh, Christy, we met from politics," which I think I did meet him at one point, but I wasn't sure because I met so many people. Like, if I go to a convention, I'm the type of person where I say hi to a lot of people. So I meet a lot of different people. This guy found me on Facebook and we signed a buyer agreement. Then he said, send me five properties every single day. And it was for like months. Then after a while, pressed him. I said, we got to start submitting offers.
mhm,
Oh, well, it's not the time for me to buy. Okay, well, why are we looking? Okay. And it's always something else. Then when
mhm.
it came down to submitting an offer, he sent me proof of funds and it was like fake, like totally fake proof of funds. I'm so glad you reviewed it, Matt, because
It was horrible. There was
yeah,
words over words.
I could
Like
have
it.
lost my license if I submitted that. So I'm glad that I caught that. And I mean, it's just
So what
such.
was that phone call like when you had to basically call him a bullshitter?
Oh,
Hey man, you're a lie, you're a false,
so
you're a
listen
fake,
here,
you're a
buddy. You
phony.
may think I'm a damn moron. You're trying to take advantage of a mom of two kids. You had me sending you five properties every single freaking day for like
Mhm.
3 months. And I'm trying to submit an offer and I'm asking you for the proof of funds. And you're trying to tell me that that is proof of funds and you submitted the same proof of funds to somebody in Kentucky. Now you're going with the
Yeah.
Kentucky deal or something. I don't know. But I
What's
said,
funny
listen
is,
here, buddy, I'm
yeah.
firing you and we're done. Donezo.
Oh my. Yeah, what's funny is I actually was work before you got a hold of him, I was working with the guy and I fired him. Like I told him like, oh, he's just a time waster. Because
Yeah.
originally when he first inquired, he was saying what he wanted to do was buy a crap ton of land. So his first conversation with me is he wanted to buy so much land that he could command the price of it. Meaning he has to buy thousands of acres to be able to command
Yeah.
the
And
price.
that's just crazy. He didn't have even any of the money to do that.
But let me continue. So
Yeah.
he kept going, and again, I don't work with like very cheap clients. I just don't. I'm not working on 30, 40, $50,000 plots of land because I got my time's busy. So after going back and forth for a while, I kept sending him lots that were, big pieces of lot, multi-million dollar pieces of land, because that's what he asked for. And then he goes back, he's like, "Oh, I'm just starting out in Florida. I want to buy just one lot for 30K." And I was like, "Okay, I fired him. I said, "Okay, we're done here. You're just wasting my time at this point." And I tried to do the thing where I tried to ask him for proof of funds, and he would never send it either. So it was a headache. But then he specifically requested that Christy over here represents him, so she wanted to, help him out. because originally he actually reached out to Christy. He reached out to
He
Christy,
was
and then
my
she's
first client. I was
but
so
she wasn't
happy.
licensed yet. So she wasn't licensed. So couldn't help him. So she sent him over to me, and I tried to help him. And then he was. I have a really good bullshit radar. My bullshit radar was going off like crazy. That's why I fired him the first time. I'm willing to fire my clients if they bullshit me. I need to make people money. I'm not trying to just, have conversations like, oh, I want to buy this. And look, no, you buy it. If it makes sense, we buy it. If it makes sense, we buy it. I can save you $1 million in one phone call, but you better be ready to go. That's how it is. But going on to the next. So that was two of your crazy stories. I actually, I want to tell a crazy story of mine now.
I love
So
your stories, by the way.
this is crazy. So this was a couple years ago. Or was it? Yeah, a couple of years ago. It was a land deal. It was a bigger land deal, but it was didn't have access directly to it. So we went to the land, went to go check it out, and we couldn't get a hold of the agent. So I called him, I called him, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So after a while, we saw the field was empty. We're like, okay, let's just jump the fence, go over there. We're supposed to be there. And keep in mind, we're in the middle of Polk County, so middle of pew 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 county. They shoot and
It
F
is
preps all over.
Florida.
Yeah, it is Florida. So we jump the fence, we go over there into this field, and he likes the land. So we're like, okay, awesome. There's no cows, nothing there, but we couldn't get the cars in. We had to walk. So he wanted to bring his car back there and do all that. So we leave, we come back the next day and I still couldn't get a hold of the owner. Or sorry, no, 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 no. So I called that day. I called the agent. I finally got a hold of him, and it was a weird conversation because he was basically saying, "Oh, I don't know how to get the lock for the key for the key for the lock." And it had a gate, so we could not get into the property at all. So we're like, "Hey, can you get that? Can you get that?" And after a lot of back and forth, like, "What the hell, man? You don't have access to the property. What's wrong?" He eventually says, "Oh, cut the lock." So I was like, oh, that's weird, but I guess if they lost the key, why not? So I go and buy some bolt cutters. We come back the next day, and the field was full of cows at that point. So I went ahead and started doing what we were planning to do because the agent told me to, and I started cutting this lock. And it felt weird. I was like, oh, this feels off. This don't feel right. It feels like I was doing something wrong. Because I
That's
was.
crazy.
It was great. It didn't make sense. I was like, why don't they have a key? But that's what the agent instructed me to do. So I was like, okay, why not? If that's what he wants, that's what they want me to do, I'll
I'd
do
be
it.
so scared.
So I am midway through the cut, and I literally it's about to fall apart. But I was like midway through, and I was like squeezing it, trying to get to go through, and I was like, it just still did not feel right. So I saw a number on the fence that said management, and I called that number. The guy was not the property owner. He wasn't the one selling. I don't know who the hell the guy was, but I talked to him. And again, there's cows in the field. So that's was also making me like, this is like an active pasture. I shouldn't be breaking in here. So
Yeah.
I called the management company and he tells me like, do not cut that. Do not go in there. They will shoot and kill you immediately. Keep in mind, I was already in there yesterday. There's no cows, nothing. We were just in there just frolicking around like, oh, look, trees. Oh, grass. We can build it over here. We were frolicking, man. We were in the grass fields hanging out for at least like an hour just looking around and we could have got shot. So I just basically just got my pliers, took off, and act like it
I'm
never
glad it
happened.
wasn't with you.
It was scary, but I got it out of there. I said, oh, okay, we're done here. Hey, and then we actually closed on land the next day. We put an offer in on another lot that we didn't even go check out the next day. He was done with it. I was like, hey, I had to literally tell the client, hey, by the way, we can't go in there today. They're gonna shoot us. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, we're not doing that. We got
But
lucky
I love
yesterday.
me some landowners. I will tell you, you guys are amazing out there. I want I definitely love those landowners.
Oh, well, we sell houses and land. What do you mean? Of course you do. So going back to what we were saying, so let's go to the next thing. So the market. What are your thoughts on the market right now, Christy? As a professional, we're in Central Florida, so our information for this segment is going to be in Central Florida market. So in Central Florida, what's your insights on the Florida market?
Yeah. So I am getting obviously a lot of investors right now, fix and flippers. I have about five of them reaching out to me. Please, Christy, I need fix and flips. I'm like, dude,
Hey, Christy, the market, not your business.
oh,
Stop advertising in my stream.
no, I'm just trying to talk about like the trends that I'm seeing from like, what I see every day. That's all I'm trying to talk about.
Okay.
Um, yeah, the market is still doing well because we live in an area where people move to, which is great. And I am seeing luxury move. Um, People are moving here and it is summertime and people are looking to live in Florida. So the market's doing good. It's still, to me, I think it's good. What do you think, actually, Matt? Because you're the expert.
So going to the market, what I think is it's a huge buyer's market. Buyers are getting huge deals. They have been for a while. And for the first time in a long time, new construction's actually lower than pre-built, the homes that have been around for a while. There's great incentives. A lot of builders are throwing houses out like crazy. So right now we're actually in a little bit of a dip in the market, actually. So people are getting good deals. They're getting homes under market price. They're able to submit offers and get closing costs paid, get this paid, get that paid. So right now it's a buyer's market. So if you're selling, it may not be the right time for you to sell. Or it could be, situations happen. But if you're a buyer, you can get immense deals right now. So that's what I would say about the market. I mean,
Yeah.
we
You
are in the active
do you,
market. I've had a lot more people reaching out this summer. A lot of people they choose to move in the summer because they have kids that are going back into school or they have uh or the teachers or whatever it is. I mean, usually it's school. But they are switching homes right now. They don't want to switch during the school year, during all that mess. They want to get taken care of. We have a lot of people that are moving from out of state into Florida. We always have that relocation from Texas, New York, New Jersey, and they're all coming down here like crazy.
get
You
away from
know,
the snow. The snow gets worse every year. I mean, the thing is, I remember when I was growing up, the snow was over our house. And mind you,
Mm.
I'm from upstate New York. Can you imagine trying to go to work in that snow? People have to go to work still.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I would say about the market is it is a huge buyer's market. And if you're looking for new construction, that's the place to go right now. With that being said, don't go directly to the new construction. You want a realtor on your side because they will try to negotiate everything, and you need someone to actually be an expert to negotiate on your behalf. So you can get closing costs paid for. You can get those blinds for free. You can have ceiling fans added that aren't in there for some reason. These overhead lights that they don't put into the rooms. Those are things we have to negotiate. So I know it's easy to say, oh, I don't need an agent, I just go to them, but they're working on their behalf. They're trying to make as much money as they can. But us, we're trying to make you as much value as we can, saving you money, getting you extras, getting you the benefits. We
Also,
are good at that.
you know what's crazy, Matt, is a lot of people don't realize that when you're buying property, that the agent gets paid from the seller typically.
Yes.
So a lot of people get scared to even reach out to somebody in real estate because they just think, oh, it's going to be expensive or, they're not really going to do anything. But like you said, it is good to have an agent. The seller typically pays. Okay. So you want to have an agent working on your behalf to get you a good deal. For
Yeah.
example, like I was able to negotiate such a good deal on that condo hotel for my client. I mean, they wanted 170. I got them down to 150 plus all the closing, you know,
Everything covered. Yeah.
and
And that
covered.
and that deal came down purely to to the market. There were so many units in that resort that you had options. You could talk them down. So if any of y'all do want a rental investment in Orlando, let us know. There are some at like 150 right next to the parks, and you can use it when you're here for on vacation. I know a lot of people lately they have been buying those vacation rentals and making some money. So that's a good business. I mean, short-term rentals will always be huge in Central Florida. That's just a go-to. Uh, but yeah, going from there. So what else? What else can we talk about? Anything else? Anything you want to mention or bring up?
Um, right now is a good time to buy the short-term rentals because it's such a buyer's
Okay,
market.
let's stop talking
That,
about buying and selling. We're
wait,
having a.
wait, I just want to say one more
I
thing.
know, but
Sorry.
every sentence can't be an ad,
Wait,
Christy.
wait, 1 second.
Every sentence can't be an ad. You have to stop. This ain't entertaining. This is you're just talk. You're just keep trying to sell to people. No one's gonna listen to that. You got to stop. Seriously. Talk about experiences. Talk about the
Okay,
market.
okay, you're right. I was just excited to talk about that one deal that I saw that was 200K under. But yeah, so the experiences, let's see. Sorry, you threw me off for a
Well,
second.
we're going to
You
switch
talk.
over to the last segment of everything. So the last thing I want to talk about is the political climate with real estate in Florida. They're making a lot of big pushes, especially with getting rid of property taxes. I'm not sure if y'all have heard about that, but it got approved for the ballot. So we're going to be voting on it. I believe it went, did it go through? Let me see. I think it went through if I'm not wrong. Let's see. Tax. Let me pull up this sheet. Tax. No
Voters
more.
will decide on a massive property tax overhaul on November 3rd, 2026 general election. Via the Amendment 3, if approved by 60% of the voters, the amendment would fundamentally restructure property taxes for primary residences
So
and
yeah.
starting in 2027. So it has to be a homesteaded property.
Yes, so that is actually really good. 'Cause a lot of the people that are against that bill are worried about the infrastructure. How are we going to keep things going? Just like I mentioned with the short-term rentals, those ones will still be taxed. That will still be money coming in. And the good thing is we have so many rentals and investments in Florida that we're still going to have income. But the hard-earned owners that have lived there for years can stop being taxed out of their properties. I was speaking with many elderly that after years it's 10,000, 5,000, 7,000, and it's a home they're supposed to own. Tax us somewhere else, prefer is what I think. Tax us a little bit more on the sales, tax the tourists, tax that. Don't tax the hard earned homeowners. At least that's my stance on it. I think there's other ways to get money because a lot of these tax like if I'm a big believer if there's not a reason to tax for it, we shouldn't. I understand infrastructure, schools, and all that, but I mean, come on. We need to
Yeah, I
own
mean,
something.
I'm totally for that. I agree. Stop with the taxes. That's what America was funded on is we're trying to get away from taxes from, Great Britain. And so that's why we had our
Yeah.
Independence Day. And now we're getting taxed like crazy. But of course, we live in a great state of Florida where we don't have that state tax. So we could get rid of some of these other taxes and really make it easy for people to get into homes. I think that will be great where they could stay in their home because the property taxes do add up, and
Yeah.
some people are on limited income. We have a lot of people on Social Security, people retiring in Florida. So if we could just help them when they homestead their property, they could stay in their property for a while. So I
Yeah.
think that would be
And
great.
with all the affordable housing pushes, this would be one big one that would make it affordable. Because that's one of the biggest things these homeowners can't afford is because the taxes. I mean, you're talking about 700, 7, 8, $900 just tax bills alone every
Yeah.
month. I mean, a few of the houses in our like my house alone is 9,000 a year. That's a lot, and it
Yeah.
adds up. So.
Exactly.
That's important to keep in mind. So that's going to be on the ballot in November. Again, on this other side, they're worried about infrastructure, worried about paying those costs. But my stance on it is we need to help the people that live here. You know, if we have to tax a tourist or find another way to support a tourist state as of Florida, that Florida is, we should do it. You know, help the homeowners. If the people are vacationing, they're good. You know, they spend hundred or thousands upon, they spend the entire life savings is at Disney, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it just makes sense to me. Let's help the people that live here, the elderly that are being priced out of their houses because of taxes, something they're supposed to own. They can't even afford anymore. And again, this is only for the homesteaded. So the investments, all the people that are just looking to invest in Florida, they'll still be paying. So we will still have those costs. You know, so that's a good thing. That'll be on the ballot in November, and let's vote on it. Let the people decide at the end of the day. And I really do think that people will decide to pay less taxes. Because like you're saying, Great Britain, it was tea. What was it, like 2 cents for the tea or something like that? It was nothing. Now we're talking about thousands upon thousands. They revolted over tea.
We're
Over
getting
tea.
taxed like crazy, and they need to stop. I mean, you think about it. You earn a dollar, you gotta pay it, you gotta pay it, you gotta pay it, you gotta pay this
Yeah.
tax, this tax. It takes away.
Sales, it's insane. Sales tax, sales tax, you have property tax, you have this tax, that tax. Other states, you have state tax, you
It's a
know.
lot.
We have federal tax, all these different taxes. The dollar just keeps shrinking and shrinking. And that's why people revolted back in the day. That's why we have America, is because we didn't want to pay for T-tax. And then somewhere along the way, they're like, hey, we can't do this without that. That they actually had a good system going, I guess. But that's the reason we came here. So I think to an extent, we did lose our way a little bit. So we need to get back to that. I would
Yeah,
rather less government and more people.
yeah.
We have to, defend for ourselves a little bit more because we're not being charged 10,000 a year. I'll take that 10,000 and put it into put it into our own costs, build our own roads. I mean, probably won't happen that way,
Uh,
but we still will have costs. We'll still have the taxes. But I would rather just take care of my own at the end of the day. And with
I
that
do
extra
want to
money.
get a shout out to all those hometown heroes out there. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for all that you do. You know,
Oh,
that
let's go over that. Can you go over the Hometown Hero programs? They just released millions of funds to that a couple of days ago, actually.
actually what I was going to say. So thank you so much to all of you hometown heroes, teachers, first responders. You you guys qualify for up to 35,000 down payment assistance.
Zero
So
percent.
yes. So mortgage types will be an FHA, VA, USDA, or conventional first mortgages. So what it is, it's a 0% interest, non it's a second mortgage basically, but 0%.
So what Hometowns Heroes is, it's a program to help for down payment assistance and closing costs
Yeah,
for heroes. So teachers, doctors, military spouses. These people, they want to help you get into a home. Home affordability is off the charts. And they want everybody to be able to afford one. So
yeah,
all the heroes in Florida, they are giving you a 0% loan up to $35,000 or 5% to go towards a home. This can go towards closing costs, or a closing cost, towards down payment, whatever it is you want to go towards, it can go towards that. This is a 30-year loan. It is a second loan on there, but it's at 0% interest. So it's almost free money. So it's from the government. They're giving it to you because they want to help you.
yeah.
So, I mean,
And
it's a
you
no-brainer.
must
Free
be,
money is free money. 0%, there's
yeah,
no loss with that. It's
you
just
must
you get to
be
borrow it and then keep paying it off. Make sure you pay it
exactly.
off.
So you must be a full-time employee working for a Florida-based employer in an eligible field, which means law enforcement officers, firefighters, educators, your teacher, healthcare professionals, childcare employees, active military, or veterans. That's a big thing. So if
Veteran spouses too. Doesn't
yeah,
even have, it can be a spouse as well.
yeah. So if you guys are any of those, you can comment down below if you need help with finding out the information. Just comment down below. We'll help you. Don't worry. If you're in Florida, we'll help you out with the information. But you do have to be a first time home buyer. Okay. And this is to get you into a home. And there are income requirements. And
And
there's
it does
different,
have to be a primary residence, so it has to be your home you're going to be living in. And that's
yeah.
basically the information on it.
Yeah.
So those are most of the updates for the area. That is for Florida over here. But
Yeah.
there's also the SHIP program. There's NACA. There's other programs as well that y'all should look into if you haven't yet. Right now, there is a push for home affordability. They want everybody to be able to have one because that's the American dream. Everybody dreams of having a home, and we're here to help you when that time comes. So anyway, this was the first episode of the McKinney Pulsecast, real estate podcast, going through everything A to Z in real estate. I look forward to seeing y'all again next time. And please make sure to follow, share, and tell your friends.
Yeah.
There's many more. If you like it, you got to show support so I can do some more of it. Anyway, y'all have a good one. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. Have a
Thank
good
you
one.
so
Bye.
much. Bye.
Ba-ba-da.